Thank you. Secretary of the Treasury, Dr. Samaratunga, Deputy Governor, Mr. Samarasiri, the Chairman of the IBSL Governing Board, other members of the Governing Board, Deputy Governors, Assistant Governors, bank CEOs, senior officials of the Central Bank as well as other banks, and of course all of you who are graduates today and their families. It's a great pleasure to be here with you, and I thank the Governing Board of the IBSL for inviting me to be here with you. First, let me congratulate the graduates who have successfully completed the diploma and certificates in banking and finance, as well as the members who are being admitted as associates and fellows of the Institute. This is a landmark day for each of you and your families. Now, education has always been a crucial determinant of a country's development prospects. In today's world, where we are seeing an exponential acceleration in the pace of technological change, education has become even more important. An even higher premium is being placed on human capital development for us to be able to meet the challenges and take advantage of the opportunities that are being created by rapid technological change. In the past, historically, technological change transformed the production processes and working patterns in manufacturing. Today, that is also now being extended to the services sector. The financial services sector is no exception. Fintech is having a transformative impact on the banking sector. In 10-15 years' time, the banking model is likely to be totally unrecognizable from the bricks and mortar based model that we have been familiar with for many years now. So the pace of change is going to keep accelerating. There will be benefits in terms of reduced transaction costs and increased financial inclusion. However, it also places a great challenge in terms of adjusting to this rapid pace of change. The role of the IBSL in preparing the staff and the officials of the banking sector to meet these challenges will increase as time goes on. As the only institution authorized to offer banking qualifications in Sri Lanka, the IBSL will clearly have a significant role to play in preparing future generations to cope with the challenges of the digitalized and globalized era. The CBSL has been able, up to now, to provide much needed skills and capabilities for the banking sector, enabling it to meet sophisticated client needs and manage the rapidly increasing risk profiles of today's volatile world. In accordance with the vision statement of the IBSL, it has been able to be the best solutions provider for the financial services industry. Turning to the role of the CBSL, as you know, financial system stability is one of the core functions of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. In pursuing this objective of financial sector resilience, the CBSL has introduced several policies related to the financial sector with a view to enhancing the soundness of institutions, ensuring effective and active markets, as well as safe and sound payment mechanisms. The Central Bank has also ensured that our regulatory framework is in accordance with international best practice. Now, you would have learned during your respective courses that no amount of regulation will work if there is no integrity and a robust compliance culture. I firmly believe that the excellent professional skills you have acquired from your learning experiences at IBSL will enable you to join the workforce in a more dynamic, ethical, and professional manner. Our banking sector, for its part, has showed continued stability and growth. Strong capital and liquidity requirements under macroprudential regulation should provide enough of a cushion for banks to face turbulence in the coming years. Going forward, the banks need to reposition themselves to support the expected rapid expansion of the economy. And here let me just take a few minutes to quickly run through some of the measures that are being taken to promote the rapid expansion of the economy. First and foremost, clearly, one has to have solid, sound macroeconomic fundamentals. So 3 frameworks are being put in place. As you know, the budget has been the main source of instability in the system for many years now. So a revenue enhancement-based fiscal consolidation program is underway. And the target is to reduce the budget deficit to 3.5% of GDP. So that's one framework. The central bank, for its part, is introducing a flexible inflation targeting regime for monetary policy. This will enable us to have a much more forward-looking and proactive monetary policy, which will enable us to move quickly and early in terms of interest rate movements, so that we are able to smooth the interest rate cycle and not have the sharp volatility and fluctuations we have seen in the past. The third framework is for exchange rates, and the idea there is to manage the exchange rate flexibly, to take the exchange rate down to the point very slowly where the real effective exchange rate is 100, and then to manage the nominal exchange rate so that the real effective exchange rate, which reflects the competitiveness of the economy, remains around 100. So this is crucial because, as you all know, the country has a challenging debt dynamics which are eminently manageable provided we maintain discipline, but which will, to get out of it, we will have to improve our export performance. And it's not possible to have an export performance improvement without a competitive exchange rate. Also, I think it's important to maintain a competitive exchange rate so that we don't have to spend our scarce borrowed reserves to defend the indefensible, which is an exchange rate that is under pressure. So in the future, we don't plan to use reserves to defend the exchange rate, because you've seen from history that you end up depleting your reserves and having to adjust the exchange rate sharply anyway. So we want to make sure that we do it very gradually and to ensure that the economy remains competitive and the exchange rate contributes to it. But I must say that the central bank will make sure there isn't rapid fluctuations, volatility in the exchange rate market, and it will also be very watchful to see that there is no speculation, and will move very decisively to deal with anybody who is involved in speculative activity, and the central bank has the tools to do that. So that's in terms of macroeconomic fundamentals. Policies are also being put in place to strengthen the growth framework of the economy in the areas of investment policy, in the areas of investment promotion, in the areas of trade policy, and in the area of trade facilitation. I'm not going to take up a lot of time by listing all the things that have been done, but there are measures being undertaken to improve, to effect improvements in all these areas. It could go faster, but the direction of travel is positive in each of these areas, and all this should help to strengthen the growth framework going forward. I should also say that there are some major development programs which all of you are familiar with, I'm sure. The Western Region Megapolis project, the Port City and the International Financial Center within it, the Hambantota development, the Trincomalee development, the Kandy development, the Kuliaputiya Kurunagala development, and some special concessions for investment in the northern province, the conflict-affected provinces. So all this is going on. There's a great deal that has been planned. There is considerable support from international partners to take forward these major area development programs. I should say one thing, about the whole Hambantota development, because there's been a lot of debate about this. I personally don't see the Hambantota port as in isolation. Clearly, it is important to negotiate the best possible deal in the long-term lease of the Hambantota port. That is taken for granted. But leasing the port is only one piece in a much bigger picture. Because since independence, it's 69 years, 70 years next year, we have been able to do very little for the people of Monragala. We have been able to do very little for the people of Uva. The people of Hambantota have some assets which are not working for them. By leasing the port to China Merchant, China has plans to develop that whole area. There are industrial zones they have planned, and the building of several industries. It will create employment for people, as I said, of Monragala, Uva, as well as Hambantota. Similarly, the plans to have Japan, Singapore, and India work together to develop the Trincomalee area will create opportunities for people from the Rajarata as well. So these are major development areas. Japan is also supporting the Kandy development. South Korea and the Andhra Pradesh Development Corporation have interests around Kurnagala and Kuliyapitiya. So all these things are there. Now, will all this work? Well, the jury is still out, I must say, because the plans are good. And if someone were to ask me what are the three priorities for the country today, I would say it's execution, execution, and execution. Can we get it done? That is the question. We all need to work together to make sure that these plans are taken forward. In my view, the plans are sound. They're good. They can transform this country. But the question is, can we get it done? It's important that we all work together to do so. In concluding, let me say that, even those who achieve excellence go through challenges in their careers. In your life too, there will be peaks and troughs. But the education and training that you have acquired at IBSL will give you the confidence and skill set to face the future with confidence. Tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. I extend my special gratitude and commendation to the IBSL Governing Board and the teaching staff for the excellent work they have put in to enable the future generations of our country to make it a better place. Let me finish with a quote from the late Abdul Kalam, the former President of India. He said, "Real education enhances the dignity of a human being and increases his or her self-respect. If only the real sense of education could be realized by each individual and carried forward in every field of human activity, the world will be a much better place to live in." Thank you very much.